Hello.
Sorry.
I got Sharky wrapped up talking about Twisted Wonderland.
Oh my
Sorry.
gosh.
That's my fault. But those cards are really pretty, right?
Those cards are so pretty though.
Twisted
I
Wonderland was great art.
I
I
also
think
just find it really funny how it's like, oh yeah, I,
this
I'm
is what
not
I
a
was telling our friend yesterday of like the gotcha games. Like, oh
just have
yeah. No.
pretty art.
The
Pretty art.
mechanic is easy enough, right? It's
Oh
just
yeah.
random
Brand.
draws.
Yeah.
Even if you program in the like 10 draw guaranteed whatever,
Yeah.
that's
Weighted
just another
percentages
thing.
for
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Um, and I think that one actually is because I don't know how Twisted Wonderland handles it. Obey Me actually has like it does the draws, and basically SSR and up shows up as a rainbow. And if you don't get any rainbows,
Oh.
it does this like crackling, like lightning effect, and then transforms one of them into a
Yeah.
rainbow at
So
the end.
I remember seeing that in Nier does that to
Yeah,
a degree where
yeah,
like
yeah.
it will sometimes show like I think there because they do it 3, 4, and 5 stars,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes it'll be like a 4-star and it will just like flash and change colors to the 5 stars. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh.
Yeah, and it's possible for that to happen even if you do have rainbows already.
Yeah.
But the thing for Obey Me is that as part of the guaranteed um, SSR and up, is that you will definitely, if you have 0 rainbows, one will definitely crack into a rainbow.
Mm.
Um, but it just does the 10 initial and then changes one if you're missing one. So I think for that, um, that coding's like super easy, right? Because you
Yeah.
just run the 10.
Yeah.
You just do the normal draw 10 times. And then before it starts revealing the cards, just do a
Do a
check.
check
Are
and
there
then
any rainbows? If not,
random
re-roll one of them.
into a rainbow. Yeah.
Yeah. Re-roll one of them under rainbow odds.
Yeah.
Twisted Wonderland, I have not seen them do that yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think.
So I don't know if it's predetermined by, especially because they reveal the cards one by one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they're putting some kind of calculation where if all of the first 9 were whatever, then it will automatically just make the last one the extra sparkly or what.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Um
I just find it funny how it's like, oh yeah, like pretty boys are not my thing, but man, this game has such pretty art.
Look, I that's the thing is like if it's just pretty character design, it's like okay, whatever. Because there are characters in here that have very pretty
Oh
designs,
yeah.
but that I don't care that much about. Um, and I guess it's sort of like Jade and Floyd are twins, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think both of them are very good characters, characterization wise.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I like Jade more for sure. There's a great line in book 4. Have you gone through book? You haven't gone through book 4, have
No,
you?
I'm in the middle of book 2.
Well,
Like,
hurry it up because next weekend is the deadline for getting all of the
oh.
things on time so that you get all the extra bonus items. Which I was talking to my roommate about it because she's been super busy with new job
Yeah.
and stuff, right? And that new job, she joined at a really busy time. They're like, you joined just in time. It's like just in time for your guys' needs, not just in time for onboarding.
Yeah.
Thrown right into the deep end thing. But where like she finished book 3, but she has not even really started on book 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look, what you could do if you really wanted to get all those bonus items, because you do get some gems and stuff
Yeah.
along with
Yeah.
all the other bonus items,
All these bonus
is that
items.
you just click, hit skip,
Yeah.
do whatever battles,
Yep.
go back later.
Yeah. That's probably what I'll end up doing and just
Yeah.
rewatch the scenes later.
Yeah. I mean, I really like the story. I think that it's kind of a shame that we don't get more regular bits of story because even the events are kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Um, but I think the story that we do get, the writing's really fun.
Mm.
And the main story, I think. Well, I also think that like the way that they initially described Azul at the beginning, I was like, ooh. I was really considering, and then now I'm glad I didn't pick Azul at the very beginning for that like guaranteed SR or whatever,
Uh
because I'm like, Azul's fine.
huh.
It turns out that most of the houses I actually really like the Vice House word.
Oh, really?
Trey is better than Riddle. Jade is better than Azul. Leona's a little bit of an asshole. Ruggy's less of an asshole. Or at least a more relatable one. He's like kind of an asshole, but in that way of like, I don't care if I rip off the rich. Y'all are rich. I grew up with nothing.
uh,
You guys have no appreciation for money and frugality. And if you know what, if you don't care, I'm going to take advantage of you. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't blame you. Especially because it seems like he is a really sweet character. I think, so at the beginning of book 4, everyone's like going home for winter break or whatever.
oh.
Ruggy's got like satchels of food that he's carrying back from the school store
Oh.
because he's like, yeah, I always strike a deal with Sam at the store
Yeah.
that, um, like right before break, and they have to like clear out the store inventory.
Yeah.
I will buy out all of this food, um, before the break at like a discounted price to bring back to my family and like the neighborhood kids because we don't have a lot of food where I'm
Oh.
from. And I'm like, that's so sweet.
Oh.
Um, yeah, Jade's a lot more even-tempered and like reasonable and like sneaky than Azul. Azul has too much like outright plain greed.
Mm.
He's just a little bit too like outright greedy. Um, yeah. Halim is fine. He's a ball of sunshine. But I like the
He's a ball of
steaminess.
sunshine.
He is. Have you seen him in any of the vignettes? If not, you
No,
should
I
go through.
haven't.
He's a literal in this game where everyone is like based on the villains and the surrounding characters, because they're kind of the villains and surrounding characters,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's yeah.
Jamila is Jafar essentially.
Yes.
Halim is the Sultan.
You can very much tell Jamil is Jafar.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially once you find out what his like signature spell thing is. Um, yeah. Like you can absolutely tell.
Yeah.
Um, and I think so far, I think that Riddle and Jamil have the best backstories. I find them pretty understandable and relatable and stuff.
Hmm.
Because like Leona's is I'm like, I get it, but you're an asshole. Right? Like I mean, from what you've, because you said you're mid book too.
I'm like beginning book 2.
Okay, well, Leo's kind of an asshole. Ruggy is by far better. Um, and then Azul basically has like a bullying backstory where he kind of was bullied as a kid.
Hmm.
Um, which I feel like is a very like, it's essentially just because you were bullied as a kid doesn't mean you can that's not an excuse to take advantage of and
Yes.
be bad to other people in the future who had nothing to do with your bullying.
Yes.
That doesn't give you like decent cause to be an asshole to unrelated people later
Yeah.
just because you were bullied as a kid. Um
If we
Leona's
if people who are bullied can bully other people later, then everyone would just be the biggest bully.
everyone just is a bully in the end in some form at that point, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I mean, look, if you want to get vengeance on the actual people who bullied you, okay, but you can't take it out on unrelated strangers that had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Um, But I think Jamil's is very understandable because essentially he's always been he was basically born to like a lower class like
Mm-hmm.
servant family,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Kalim is from like the big shot rich family. So he's basically born into like having to be an employee.
Which that
And
make
yeah.
that makes
So
sense, seeing as like I think it was like what unused stuff that Jafar was like a street rat, like Aladdin was, quote unquote,
yeah.
and he worked
Yeah.
his way up.
Yeah, in this case, it's not that he was outright street rat, but that he does come from like a lower class family
Mm-hmm.
that is basically in the employment
Yeah.
of Kalim's family. And so there's sort of a grudge there, especially because the employee can never outshine like the star
Yep.
family or whatever.
Yep.
So you had to hold back a lot and stuff like that. Where I'm like, Jamil is a lot more sympathetic of a character than Jafar. um, yeah. And I think like he holds a grudge against Cullum for that, but in this sort of misplaced anger kind of thing where he like somewhat knows like Cullum's not a bad guy or anything. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the situation thing. Um but that you know, obviously if you have to be basically this person's caretaker your whole life,
Mm-hmm.
being the same age too, right? It's just an inequality thing.
Yep.
So I like his backstory a lot, um, which is part of why I was like, yeah, I want the Jamil card.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, now that I've talked for an extra like 15 minutes about Twisted Wonderland while we have
Oh,
Code Realize on the screen.
about a game that we are not playing right now.
Not on the stream. Because it's a mobile game.
Cause I mean, people do play mobile games on
Yeah,
Twitch.
but
It's
I don't think we can do this
no.
setup for a mobile game, right? So
It would have to do some finagling, but I mean,
yeah, for the
technically,
particular way that we play.
yeah.
I think if anything, you could get like a simulator thing and then start a whole new account if you want to
No,
show it.
or you have to use a program to mirror your phone or tablet or
Yeah.
whatever to your computer with sound, and then you basically can just throw that.
I also don't know how Disney would feel about streaming Twisted Wonderland story.
That would be a whole mess.
Because technically, you don't have to do the gacha as long as you like power up your cards enough.
Yeah.
So as long as you did gacha just enough to fill out a good team, you don't really need to keep doing gacha. So I guess, but I mean, in the way that gacha works, is that it's not about needing the card for your team per se. Sometimes it is. Sometimes I've done
Sometimes
gacha
it's like
little
me
bit.
where I'm like, my cards could do okay, but like the like more powerful stuff, I just get like destroyed.
Well, so obey me, right? Twisted Wonderland has basically the rock paper scissors. It even
Yes.
tells you before each battle, like
Yeah.
these are the traits that are going to be in this battle.
Yeah.
Um, obey me has each of the 7 sins as a trait for the cards, and so like certain battles, it'll pick like a primary trait and a secondary trait. Those get boosts accordingly for which one is primary and secondary, versus like other traits will get no boost. So it's good to have a full team of every trait in that sense. So I have definitely gone either just for that or especially because of that. Like during the 2nd year anniversary for Obey Me in December, one of my favorite characters was the pity at 300 draws.
Jeez.
Because they had, well, there's 12 characters.
Yeah.
And it was the anniversary, so they were doing 2 sets of gacha, 6 characters at a time. So 6 URs, and 3 of them would be in the pity. But you had to do 100.
Yeah.
And you didn't get to choose.
Yeah.
So he was the 300th. And I mean, fortunately, because everybody kind of was aware vaguely, even without leaks or whatever, we were all kind of aware, like, the anniversary is going to be a big deal. They're going to do
It's
something
gonna
big
be a
for it.
huge
Everyone
deal.
should
Yeah.
save up. So I saved up for like a whole month for that,
Oof.
from like Halloween all the way up until um I think it launched on like December 11th or so.
Uh-huh.
So from Halloween to December 11th, I just saved up.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I got most of the way there. And then I paid like relatively little bit amount of real money to like make up the difference. To the point where at the end I had like 50 points of real or like in-game, like the one that's more paid currency
Yeah.
that you can earn from daily missions and stuff. Same as the gems, right?
Yeah.
In Twisted Wonderland. Where that's also like, so Twisted Wonderland doesn't do this, but Obey Me does, where if you do a 10 draw, you also get a 10% discount.
Mm.
So instead of 300, it's 270 if you do a 10 draw, and
Mm.
you get a guaranteed SSR up. So I had to do all three. Oh, they also gave for that. So it was 300 draws, but for the first 10 days, they gave you a free 10 draw every day.
That's nice.
So when I say 300 draws, 100 of them were for free.
That's nice.
So yeah. Yeah. So a third of those were for free, actually.
But still, that's a lot.
It is. It is. And I did have to save up quite a bit. And even with the bit I paid, I ended up with like 50
Jeez.
basically gems left over. That was
Gosh.
it. Or maybe it was less. It might have been like 30. It was 50 or less. I mathed that out really carefully of like exactly how to hit so that I didn't have to pay at the next tier. Yeah, but part of the reason I was so determined was not just because he's one of my top characters, but also because that was an envy card, and I only had at the time 2 envy URs, but you need a team of 3. So partially just to fill out the last slot with another UR
Yeah.
for my envy team, I was like, well, this is both one of my favorite characters and also a card I kind of need mechanics wise. So that's an extra like motivation.
So about the game that's on the screen.
It's your line, isn't
it? We should probably get to it.
It's your line, isn't it?
Yes, I know, because I'm going to be talking to myself all day.
You're interrupting me like I have something to read. It's your line. You read it whenever you want.
Well, no, I can't read it whenever I want if you're talking.
Has that stopped us before?
Yes.
We read the line and we just go back to our conversation. We've done that plenty of times. Come on.
Doesn't everyone just love our stream?
Welcome to 20 minutes of just talking about Twisted Wonderland and Obey Me and Gotcha instead of Code Realize.
Are you sure this is what you want?
Alistair has been lead. Oh, wait.
This is also me.
That's also you. Alright, I'm still in Lovingly Evil.
No, hearts.
Hi, Malik. I hope you've been enjoying our Gotcha talk.
Again,
or if you just got here, also welcome in.
Our talk about mobile games.
Look, Malik's been here since very early on. She knows. She's aware of the tangents. I think she comes for the tangents.
Comes to talk about her opinions on any other game but the one we're playing.
I mean, I also really like Code Realize. I did push for us to play
Yes,
this.
you did.
I pushed for you to get it.
Yes.
Or rather, I pushed for us to play it, and you're like, okay, I'll get it.
Okay, because I'm the one with the capture card.
Well, I also have one now.
Now.
At the time, I didn't. I still need to set it up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that after the stream today.
Alistair's been leaning against his automobile, waiting for Van Helsing to come from the mansion. Yes, this is how it should be. Doesn't she love you? And you her? You're imagining things. I merely removed something that was superfluous. Hey! Hey, Mick!
Hi, Mick. I think you were streaming late yesterday too, from what I saw on my alerts. Hope that went okay.
What was Mick streaming?
Um, I don't know. Was it music again? I just know
Mm?
I saw like I think it was like a stream notification popped up at like 10 or 11 and my time.
Oh,
And I was
wow.
like, "Aren't you on the East Coast?" You're
so, sometimes you just gotta stream late.
Yeah. I mean, good for me. That's how I joined the other day.
Yeah.
It was like, "Oh yeah, it's like 2 a.m. here." And they were also like, "Isn't it late?" Wait, never mind. Because I was like, "You're 3 hours ahead of me."
Fine. If that's your decision, I support it. Let's go. Before Finis disappears again. Alistair nods.
How have your weekends been
Yeah!
slash been going,
How
Alec and Nick?
how is everyone's weekend? Or
Eminem.
weekday,
Well,
technically.
I ask weekend for Melik because the
It's
weekend just ended, right?
yeah, it's Monday morning.
How was your weekend? Slash, how is your weekend going? Hope it's been good.
It is still it's still kind of wild to me that it's like, oh, right, Australia. That's so far.
I mean, I was setting up an interview with someone who's usually on Amsterdam time,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I was like,
Oh, Mother's Day's over. Oh man, that must be so bad
"Uh,
for you because restaurant worker.
yeah, people bringing their moms out."
Oh man.
I called my mom before my bottomless brunch. I was like, "Well, my parents are gonna be mad if I don't call for Mother's Day. And if I have bottomless brunch, I should probably call while I'm still sober." So the guy brought over our drinks, and I was like, "Okay, hold on. Let me call my mom first." But she was really happy with the gift I sent her.
Oh, that's good.
So that's good.
One of my
Um,
coworkers is like, "Oh, are you doing anything for Mother's Day?" I'm like, "I don't talk to my family." They're like, "Oh, right, you did mention that before." And I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah. Yeah. I sent my mom like um from this one tea company, like a tea gift set thing
Okay.
that has like they have a special Mother's Day blend, which I've seen outside of Mother's Day time. Like I think I first came across it in like December at some local cafe. Was doing music. Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's cool.
Hope that went well. I think I saw a tweet about
Oh,
accidentally being muted for a while. Uh,
I was gonna
which
call. I'm
sorry
gonna
about
call.
that.
Oh, I did see that, and I wanted to comment, but I didn't. I forgot to basically be
I
like, yeah, I know that feeling. There's been a few streams where nobody could hear Satan when I was streaming.
I also forgot to unmute us at one point
Yeah.
in one of
Mm-hmm.
our earlier streams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just straight up didn't unmute either of
Mm-hmm.
us.
And
Whoops.
there's times we were never muted when we were supposed
Also
to be.
that. Also that. Which I think fortunately we didn't
We didn't mention anything
happen
like
to mention like
personal stuff. Yeah.
yeah,
We,
yeah.
we
We
were
didn't
we
mention
were
like the
chatting
only
about
drink.
games or something, and everyone's like, "We can hear you,"
By the way, you're not muted on
and we're
this
like, "Ah,
stream.
crap."
We're just like, whoops.
You're not.
I think the worst is the first time that I was running our stream on OBS. I think I forgot to mute us at the very beginning because it was a brand new setup.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
But then I think probably the opening music was clashing with the game music that whole time.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
Which
It would
rip.
have.
Sorry, everyone. You
Look,
know, it's like other people have told us. Are you a streamer if you haven't had like technical difficulties?
or if you have, or like you haven't, you've muted yourself to like grab something and didn't unmute yourself for 20 minutes, and the chat's like, you're muted. Hey, you're muted. Hey, you're muted.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least for us,
Yeah.
because we're talking to each other. If
Mm-hmm.
one of us is muted on Discord and we're not the one streaming, that becomes pretty quickly obvious,
Chat's just
right?
like, "Are you okay? You're talking to yourself. Are you fine?"
Or like,
This is an interesting
yeah.
one-sided conversation.
It really was funny at the times. They're like, we can't hear Satan at all.
And I'm like,
Oh,
"Ah,
I
crap!"
didn't realize Satan was on this stream. I thought it was a solo stream. I'm like, that's okay. That's okay.
It
Nobody needs to hear me.
it had
Nobody needs to miss
no
me or anything.
no
It's fine.
so when we were hanging out yesterday, I got a message from a roommate because she's like, "I'm going to go be on a video call. Can you like quiet down just a little bit for a little while? Don't be screaming the word embezzlement." And I'm like, "Yeah." Oh man.
Yeah. My roommates talked at one point about how because she was working from home
Yeah.
again. And then because sometimes for work from home it can be hard, especially if you don't have like a timesheet thing, if
Yeah.
you're just salaried. It can be hard to like
Disconnect or
cut
yeah.
yourself off from work at a
Yeah.
certain point. And I was like, oh, got it, because it was a Friday.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, got it. I should just scream louder on Fridays. Like, okay, sorry, can't work. My roommate is screaming on stream. Oh, can't focus. I guess it's time for me to stop. I just, as her roommate, it is my roommate obligation for her work-life balance to scream on stream so she can't work anymore.
My roommate a few times is like, if I'm like trying to go to bed and you got like you're a little too loud, like I'll tell you to like quiet down or
Mhm.
something. So like she'll send me a message, but I'm always just like, starting it at 9:30. Who knows what's gonna be said? And let's figure out how what my roommate thinks of me today.
That's the problem with our time difference,
Yeah.
right? Is that like for me, if I was starting at 9:30, my roommate wouldn't care
Yeah.
because we're
Well,
both night owls.
yeah.
But for you and your roommate,
Well, my roommate
you
goes to
know,
bed. If my roommate hasn't been having like sleeping issues, she's usually in bed by like 10 or 11.
and then me, like, well, I mean, especially for when we first set this schedule, when
Yeah.
I had to like go into the office,
Yeah.
a lot of times that was when I would get home.
Yeah, it's like you're
Unless I actively was like, all right, I gotta go home a bit early today.
it was
It's
just
just frustrating the first time since literally no one said anything until I showed up.
uh
I'm glad I could uh well, I'm both sorry and glad that I could make you aware.
I was talking to people like they could hear the music. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Mick was saying like, oh, it's so loud. It's so loud. And I was like, I can barely hear actually.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's happened for like I've been in Pie's stream and like Pie will be like, "Oh, I hope this isn't too loud." And I'm like, I can barely hear the game. Like this is
People
like
rated me and I was, oh no.
uh
I'm so
well,
sorry.
and that's also a thing where some people are like, I don't want to say anything and make like to the streamer about it. So
Mhm.
like some people are just silent to the point where like I've seen this multiple times. Like people are like, no, if my audio is messed up, tell me. Like this is a huge deal.
Yeah. For what it's worth, the game right now currently does not have
It
sound.
has zero
It
sound.
is
Well,
presently,
I mean, it did have like when we moved to this, there was the sound of the car, but like that was
yes.
it.
But like currently, there are
Zero.
no sound
Yeah.
effects. There's no music in the background. That's not our game being broken. We just haven't moved on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that is a thing.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
sucks that it's a thing, but it is a
Yeah. I
thing.
mean, I think especially for a music stream, it's
Oh
like
yeah.
a little
Oh yeah.
awkward. And at first, I wasn't completely sure if it was like intentional. I was like, I don't think it's intentional because you've done music streams before and it's not usually like this, but it's really quiet. And
Yeah.
it's also, OBS or whatever,
Yeah.
fiddling with settings. It's hard to tell
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes.
Like
Um,
it
but for the
this
same
is
reason,
not a science.
I'm glad usually people like tell us if
Yeah.
they can't hear us or the stream or something.
Yeah.
It is also very helpful again that there's two of us.
Yep.
So it becomes much more blatantly obvious if one of us has a drastically different volume than the other.
Hi.
What was that?
I have no idea. Am I supposed to know anything?
Uh, once in a while. They're supposed to know Kingdom Hearts.
Do I, though?
Hey, someone redeem a daily Kingdom Hearts fact, please.
I don't know any Kingdom Hearts facts. Stop it.
Come up with one.
Ah!
Look, as it is, the daily Kingdom Hearts fact costs more channel points than the demonology fact.
It does.
Though people don't really tend to redeem the demonology fact. But you know, it's
People
okay.
don't really
I have
tend
some
to
ready.
redeem the Kingdom Hearts one, and I feel like I've run out.
I mean, to be fair, I guess half the time that people redeem it is because it happened to come up and I'm like, somebody redeem this.
Exactly. The two step into the automobile,
Redeem it anyway.
and Alistair starts the engine. Hey, music!
Hey.
Finis
Now tell us if you can't hear the music.
I would hope they can. I can see the waveform.
Yes. But, you know, just in case. You never know with the volume settings and stuff. I had to turn the desktop audio overall so far down.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, I hope that you're still audible. Because the game, Lovingly Evil as a game, is just super fucking loud. I showed you the settings.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I was already under 50% for what
Yeah.
their volume setting is.
Yeah. And I mean, I've mentioned this before. It's so hard for me at times because my headphones just make everything so loud in my ear that it can be like at like 10% or less volume and it's perfectly audible in my headphones and everyone else is like, we can't hear it. And I'm like, well, I guess my ears are gone.
You know what you do is just you mute whatever it actually is and only listen to the stream.
I wish that's how it worked.
I wish. That definitely is not how it worked.
Phineas has now returned to St. Paul's Cathedral, where Twilight's headquarters are. The cathedral? Is the source you got this information from reliable? I'd swear it on my life. Phineas and his rebels in Twilight attacked the cathedral. They attacked you? Yes. Thanks to that, the remaining members of Twilight were wiped out. I'm unable to contact any survivors. Is there anything at the cathedral that Phineas would go to such great lengths to obtain? It's said that Isaac obtained the location by bargaining directly with Queen Victoria during the rebuilding of London. That place may have secrets that we aren't aware of. Maybe a secret laboratory.
Maybe something.
Could it be the secret to his immortality is in a place so close to him?
I'm just like, spoilers.
Oh, we should play, what's it called? Not Undertale. Deltarune.
Well, wasn't that the thing? Was you're gonna go through Undertale so we could someday go through Deltarune?
Yeah, but we've gone through Undertale now.
Well, in the meantime, I've invited Mick to come join for a Sim stream sometime if they're free, so that we can make Sim Mick. I've invited my roommate, who's also Grace, to come for a stream sometime on some Friday, so we could make Sim Mango.
Or we should go through Deltarune at some point. Chapters 1 and 2, since that's all it's out.
Well, that's all of you.
Yes, that is all me.
I'm just like, I want to make all of my friends in The Sims.
And now I'm like, I want to stab some things.
Oh, actually, yesterday while we were hanging out with our friend, right?
Yeah.
And I was playing Sims for a little bit after he left.
That doesn't surprise me.
But back on our household.
Yeah.
I hit my public enemy aspiration. I'm a little sorry I didn't save that for the stream. I'll save yours for the stream.
Rude.
You're like right at the edge of hitting yours, and I think you're also just about there on getting the needs no one, where your social never decays.
Oh yeah.
But at some point yesterday while I was playing, our Sims were just like chatting and hanging out, and then suddenly, next thing I knew, your sim had a festering grudge against my sim, and I was like, wait, what happened? And
Ah,
then he was getting really pissed off every time our sims interacted. And I was like, no, I don't know what I did. Apologize. But because it's your sim and I know you, I also had your sim apologize because I feel like that's just a thing you would do.
Why, yes, I say sorry all the time. I'm sorry.
And so do I.
I
I have definitely apologized like all the time in the way that like people are like, stop apologizing. And then I go, sorry.
You yell at me to stop apologizing.
I do.
When I say I'm
do,
sorry.
which is why I'm like, that's why I was like, yeah, even though your sim is the one with the grudge, I had your sim also apologize to me because I was
You
like,
know me.
yeah, this is a thing that
You know
would
me.
do.
Yeah.
Even if it's not your fault, even if my sim was the asshole and I still don't know what the fuck happened to cause that,
I would still be like, I'm sorry.
you would apologize. I
That
also
was a
had
good
my sim
stance.
apologize.
Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry, once again.
The best places to hide something are where nobody can see. Van Helsing looks out at the passing scenery with a tense expression. When is Satan gonna get a line? He can see the city lights glistening beyond the curves of the hills.
Maybe whenever Finish shows up.
It gets stabbed again? Haven't tried Deltarune yet. I played Deltarune Chapter 1 when it was new. And I've watched somebody play Chapter 2. I haven't personally played it. I know there's some interesting, like, Undertale-y multiple routes things you can do with Chapter 2. But I haven't played it personally. Steel London, started by Isaac Beckford and finished by Finis, though it is still growing. Lives and emotions constantly cross paths here, and countless tragedies are born each day. A beautiful beast that devours lives. Steel London. He came first to the city several years ago. Tonight, he will put an end to his connection to this place. He stares up at the moon and reflects on his past. He must collect his thoughts and emotions to prepare for what might happen.
Alright, so I will not have a single line for the remainder of this paragraph in the summary.
Good Lord! I'm so glad I'm not working this week.
You want me to take narrator in the meantime?
Please!
Yeah.
Please, my voice!
Spare you a little bit, though not all you. I mean, if there's ever a point where it's all me, I'd be like, you should take something. But that won't generally happen because you still have narrator usually.
I'm always narrator.
Well, for this game.
Yeah, for this game specifically. I'm not always narrator.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, you should be MC.
Yeah.
Originally, I was saying you should be MC on this game, but then I was like, no, I actually like this MC too much.
Yeah, I'm not a good MC for this game.
Yeah, well, because this is like a good MC. There are some MCs in Otome games that I'm just like, yeah, please block the shit out of this character.
There's only a few characters that I can do okay. MC's not one of them.
In this game. Well, because this is actually a pretty...
Yeah.
Somewhat differently for an Otome game. This is like a pretty headstrong MC. Like a pretty determined and like outspoken at times MC, even if she's also sort of shy sometimes. She actually has like quite a bit of like emotional strength in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a delicate balance for her. So then I'm like, okay, actually I like this MC and I don't want you like struggling the whole way to like voice her.
Good. Don't make me struggle.
Sometimes I want you to struggle for fun.
Cry. Read the lines, please.
I take lines for I take characters that are straight up like somewhat low voices because I just like doing a low voice, even though it is not at all my natural voice. But this is not a narrator line either way.
Who is this?
Probably Van.
Probably a van? Why is the van talking to us?
It's the mystery van.
Mystery Incorporated's here? Okay, which one of us is who would we be if we were in Mystery Incorporated?
What do you think?
Oh,
I want to hear your opinion.
Look, there's only 2 characters I could be.
Really?
Scrappy.
Who am I? Out of that group?
I love how you were just like, who are you gonna say?
I mean, I don't know who you would be. I don't know who I'd be. What does chat think? Who would we be?
In Scooby-Doo, who would we be?
I don't think I'm quite
You're not Daphne
nerdy enough to be Velma.
You're not Daphne.
I'm not Daphne. I'm not Daphne. I don't think I'm Shaggy or Fred. I'm not Scooby.
Well, you just eliminated everyone.
I don't think well, that's why I was like, who do you think I'd be? Who do you think I'm most like out of them?
You literally just eliminated the entire group.
Well, do you disagree? Could you imagine me being Fred? Velma for sure. Yeah, I guess out of them, probably most Velma.
You're mostly Velma.
I don't think I'm really Velma, but like...
Out of the group, you're mostly Velma.
Actually, no, I'm the villain in the mask.
See, but who would I be?
You're not enough of a glutton to be Scooby, that's the only thing. I feel like the rest of Scooby, like, perhaps, but
well,
you're
I mean,
not...
that's the same thing with Shaggy, then.
No, you're not high enough to be Shaggy. Deadpan smart. Well, I'll take that as a compliment, thank you.
I mean, you are deadpan and smart.
Am I smart?
Yes. Yes.
Your screen share is falling asleep.
Yeah, because we're talking about Scooby-Doo. So this is London? Amazing.
I do feel like you're a little bit more Scooby than Shaggy.
Like, Reggie?
Because you're a little bit more silly that way.
Reggie?
But I think that...
Well, I'm not...
Like, a big part of Scooby is being a glutton for Scooby snacks.
Yeah.
Doing anything for Scooby
anything
snacks.
for
And
the
that
Scooby
would
snacks.
Not be you.
Yeah.
That part is not at all you.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not Fred.
You're not Fred. You're not Daphne.
I'm too much of a coward to be Fred.
You could be somewhere between Velma and Scooby, which seems like a very large valley.
A large, yeah, it is. That's why I said I'm Scrappy. That's why I said I'm Scrappy. The annoying character.
But you're not energetic enough to be Scrappy, I think. Scrappy's very energetic, like go-getter or whatever.
It depends.
Also kind of turns into a villain.
Well,
depending which story.
Yeah, depending which story and
like,
which
Scrappy has the potential.
Yeah.
To become, like flip over to villain.
It's actually
I feel like
it's very interesting. One of my friends is like incredibly into Scooby-Doo, like incredibly into.
Oh, yeah.
And so we've had discussions about how Scrappy is only redeemable in the Red Shirt Shaggy universe. Which is a thing.
Yeah, it is. I feel like... Yeah, somewhere between Velma and Scooby for you.
I'm not Velma, though.
You can also be deadpan and smart at times. Or, okay, let's put it this way. You're smart about certain things that interest you, right? I mean, same for me.
Yeah.
If anyone heard me, like, trying to talk about sports, they'd be like, you're the dumbest piece of shit. Or not even sports. Because I vaguely understand the sense of, like, rules of sports and stuff. I understand the rules better than I know how to play.
You understand more about sports than I do.
But, like, okay, hardware. I suck at hardware.
I know
I suck at hardware. I don't know how to build a computer. In theory, vaguely know. Okay, you plug the things into the places where they fit.
Yeah, and then there's me, who's I built my computer. I figured it out.
You were there to help build my computer, except that the computer engineers just kind of took over.
Yeah, the computer engineers took over, and I disagree with what they did to your computer. Like, with an utmost passion, disagree with what they did to your computer.
So when are you visiting again?
I
Without them. Oh, I heard. I was chatting with one of them yesterday.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, the...
Past roommate, or?
Yeah, your past roommate.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while.
He reached out to catch up. I'm like, is this a thing I should be talking about on stream? I don't know. But he and his boyfriend broke up.
I'm not saying words.
Yeah, he's apparently been feeling a lot better than he has for like 5 years since breaking up. So I'm like, you know what? I'm happy for you. I'm glad.
I'm not saying
if
words.
You're feeling a lot better. I'm glad.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say on it.
Yeah.
At least on stream.
Yeah, yeah. We'll probably talk about it after stream.
Yeah, but at least on stream, you know, if he's feeling better, I'm
Yeah.
glad. I think that's for the better. It's always a good sign if you break up and you feel a lot better about yourself and your life.
Yeah.
And you feel like yourself again. Like, that's a sign it should have ended.
Yeah.
And it did. So, you know, I guess that's good.
I think the last time I talked to
breakups also suck.
Yeah. Last time I talked to him was, I'm like, hey, I need your help with my computer because it's not turning on.
Yeah, but we were catching up yesterday, and you know, seems like he's doing pretty decently, pretty well.
That's the thing with me. I don't talk with people often.
Oh, he reached out to me like almost right after you and the other friend dropped off. I think like a few minutes later.
Oh, okay. See, people also don't really reach out to me, which is the funny part.
Yeah, well, he was saying he was trying to reconnect with friends he'd kind of lost touch with.
Yeah.
And I mean, you did live with him for a while, so.
Well, I mean, even
he might reach out to you at some point.
Even when we lived together, we didn't really talk that much.
Yeah.
Just kind of the reality.
He had apparently been talking to someone else about how he missed being like besties with me, and I was like, oh, I'm not actually that close with the other person you were talking with, like, at all.
Who are you besties with?
Like, I was friendly acquaintances, right?
Yeah.
I never had, like, a sit-down conversation with that person, but I guess he'd been talking about how he missed being besties with me, and I was like, oh, that's really sweet.
Oh, man.
The first thing his eyes register upon leaving the carriage is the beautiful nightscape of the newly completed London. With Queen Victoria's declaration of a new era of invention and military expansion, the military is enlisting record numbers. Oh, British military in this time. After losing his father, Abraham decided to join the army and to support his bedridden mother and younger brother.
Oh!
Are you ready for angst? Are you ready to cry? I feel like I should go get something to drink.
Oh,
water,
you don't need to ask me if I'm ready to cry.
You're always ready
to cry. Always, like, put on something that you're like, are you ready to cry? I'm always ready to cry. Just hit me with the feels, just stab me with them.
Okay, let me go grab something to drink, just because gonna be a decent amount of talking, I think. And
Yeah, yeah,
you want to ask something?
yeah. Go for it.
Okay, I'll be right back.
I'll entertain the chat, I guess.
Yeah, entertain chat.
I
As
don't,
you should.
I don't know how to entertain them, but I shall.
I figure out what member of Mystery Inc. Mick is.
Ooh. That's a question. I hope you've been having fun so far in the hour stream that we've been on, and we've moved like 5 lines. Today's a chatty stream, I guess. We started off talking about mobile games, and now we're talking about Scooby-Doo. Just how it is. Oh, man. I chose to stream on my personal Twitch sometime this week.
Back with some kind of guava passion fruit energy immunity drink.
Guava passion fruit energy immunity. So you're making yourself immune to energy?
Energy plus immunity.
So you're making yourself immune to energy
energy
plus? Oh,
yep.
No, not energy plus. You only have energy minus.
I think that just means that I have the demonic energy I already have. If we're talking about negative energy minus, I have a lot of negative energy.
Do I have energy plus then to balance it out?
I can see that.
Or do I have neutral energy?
Only negative energy. Hi again, Duck Boy.
Yeah. Hello. No, my battery.
Oh no! Better plug in.
Yeah.
How you doing? Did you figure out what member of the
Nope.
mystery gang, Scooby gang that Mick is?
The Scoobs gang.
It occurs to me now, like, wait.
Yeah.
Doobie is...
Huh?
Yeah, Doobie is weed.
Yeah. Yes.
It occurs to me
it's
now.
an
It's
entire.
right there in the name.
There's just giant weed jokes everywhere.
I just, obviously as a kid, I never noticed.
What do you think is in the Scooby snacks?
That's why Shaggy likes them so much.
Exactly. I think
It's not that Scooby snacks are dog treats, they're edibles.
Yes. They're edibles that he feeds his dog.
I mean... Dog treat edibles? I mean, as long as he's not feeding his dog brownies, right?
Can dogs have weed?
Maybe?
The fact that I uttered that sentence.
Let me
Oh.
Google this real quick.
Why are we going in this direction?
No. THC, a key psychoactive ingredient in marijuana, is toxic to drugs. Or toxic to dogs.
Toxic to drugs.
Yes. So keeping dogs away from discarded joints, edible marijuana...
Well, he's seen how much anxiety the poor boy has. He needs all the help he can get. That is true. He does need it for his anxiety. Probably should have a little bit less of a dosage.
It came out to London on its own.
I mean, if animals can eat/drink fermented fruit to get drunk, I don't see why not.
Okay, no. THC is toxic to dogs. Drunkenness for animals is sort of... I mean, they can... Like, animals can consume a certain amount of alcohol, but, you know, they're smaller than us. So, like, a shot will probably kill a cat.
Yeah.
But a couple drops would probably have the same effect as a shot on a human, just in terms of volume to body weight.
So you're saying that there's a microdose of weed in the Scooby Snacks?
Mm-hmm. Scooby Snacks are microdosing on weed. I guess. Well, I don't.
Out of context.
It says THC is toxic to dogs, and I don't know if they mean like toxic in the way that chocolate is toxic to dogs.
Yeah, like that is a very like.
Or like raisins.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Fun fact.
Is this fun?
Flavored ice cream is not widely available because the way to make it is so heavy on like the skins and stuff.
Yep.
Which has a compound that is very toxic to dogs.
Yep.
As one of the members of Ben and Jerry
found out
because he was trying to date the other sister, whose dog licked up a little bit of ice cream that had fallen to the floor and then immediately died.
Yep.
Poor dog.
Well, wasn't it also that like making it the way that like ice cream is generally made, like it doing it grape flavored will also like make it like not keep frozen?
So in general, if you just treat grapes like any other fruit, yes. However, he found a way to make a grape flavored ice cream.
Yeah, I remember
like
hearing that story.
But the way to do that is so toxic to dogs that it's like, yeah, this will never, ever, ever be commercially sold because it is basically immediately going to kill your dog.
Yeah.
Like, you will not even have time to get to the vet. The dog was dead in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they're never trying again.
Well, in terms of commercial, right?
Yeah.
Like, FDA safety and all, they're probably not going to let fly something that
will
kill,
no.
like a family pet that easily.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing, like, okay, humans can consume it safely, whatever, but, like, if it's such a quick poison to a dog, like...
And dogs will like, eat that up.
Yeah,
fast.
Anything that falls to the floor, right, a dog might lap up. And if it's even, like, a teensy lick of it, that they'll just immediately die.
Yeah.
That's just not... Yeah. That's not gonna fly.
Yeah.
Even if the FDA approves it, like, you'd have to stick a giant warning label across the front, like, do not let dogs near.
Yes.
They will die immediately. Like, that's not gonna sell.
No, not at all.
The enlistment examinations are to take place in a field at the outskirts of London. Abraham demonstrates remarkable talent in all the tests of battle skill that he has put through. I believe this is Alistair, maybe.
He's no ordinary man.
Yes. Alistair, as section commander of Twilight at the time, is the first to recognize his abilities.
Could you have him come to me later?
Him? Sir, I thought you were with the Twilight unit, if my memory serves me correctly. Doesn't that special unit only fill its ranks with the best of the best, who have had bright and distinguished careers?
A bright career isn't necessary. Twilight is all about skill, especially my unit.
Van Helsing leaves midway through the examination and is brought to Alistair.
I'm sorry, just Jimmy Alistair.
Little baby Van Helsing.
And Jimmy Alistair.
Uh-huh. Are you ready for, like, little baby 18-year-old Abraham Van Helsing?
No, it's not angsty enough.
Don't worry, it will be.
Excuse me. Section Commander Jimmy Alistair, sir?
Van Helsing shouts this when he enters the room, and Alistair smiles faintly.
You must be Abraham Van Helsing. I know you just got here, but let me ask you a question. Do you know where you are?
mean red wine is also super toxic to dogs?
Oh, is it?
I don't know, but like if the problem with the grape ice cream was a compound in the skins, the way red wine versus white wine works is that white wine you actually remove the skins for fermenting. Red wine you ferment it with the skins and then strain them out.
Mm.
That's part of where the deep red color for red wine happens. Is not only that it's red grapes, but that you leave the skins in. Coincidentally, rosé wine is by taking red grapes and putting it through the white wine process, where you remove the skins.
Today you learned about wine in the Aces stream.
Hello, I like alcohol and fun facts about stupid random things.
I'm sorry. I have no idea. Forgive my ignorance, sir.
Some of my friends were joking around about like present smart, actually stupid. Head empty, no thoughts. Present smart though.
Oh, head empty, only voices?
Smart presenting.
See, that's how I feel most days. Like, most people are like, oh, yeah, Sharky, he knows his stuff, and I'm just like, beep, boop, no thoughts, only button press.
Beep, beep, beep. This is how we present smart.
Like, I'm able to press this button pretty well, but everyone's like, man, Sharky's was really good at this stuff, like.
Smart presenting.
No, that's fine. The true role of this place is known only to a select few in this nation. Publicly, St. Paul's Cathedral was closed following an accident during London's reconstruction. In reality, though, its true identity is the headquarters of Twilight, Britain's secret intelligence service.
Vampires.
Intelligence service? I believed I was talking about the entrance examination for the army.
Taking.
What?
It said taking, not talking about.
Whatever.
You just filled it.
Head empty! Only voices! No reading, only voices. I don't know how to read. I keep telling you this and you're like, you're lying. And I'm like, no, I don't know how to read.
I didn't say you're lying. I'm just correcting you.
Reading is hard.
Reading is fun.
It makes me want to cry.
So you enjoy it a lot. As you enjoy a lot of things that make you want to cry.
I was talking to my roommate yesterday. She's been watching something and she's like, I forgot this scene happened. Like, oh my gosh, I cried. And I'm like, oh man. I was like, oh man, I can't wait until I reach Kingdom Hearts Days again, where I'm warning everyone I'm going to be crying a lot. Because every time I touch the stories of Kingdom Hearts Days, it doesn't matter if I'm watching the movie version, I'm playing the game, I'm reading the manga, I read the light novel, I'm crying.
Wait, I don't think I told you about the other Rune Factory 4 like side event cutscene thing that I recently came across that also made me tear up a bit.
Oh no, you only told me about the one.
Okay, so in this one, Margaret is like, oh, I really wish I could perform in front of an audience. Like, I'd love to perform, like, on a stage. And, Dolce is like, I heard Margaret wants to perform on a stage. Can you, like, bring her to Obsidian Mansion for me?
Oh.
And so, you go from the back, specifically, you have to go from the back to the stage area. And, you know, Margaret's freaking out. She's like, I heard this place is haunted. Like, are there ghosts? Are there ghosts?
Which is funny for me because I brought her through that to help me fight the ghosts.
Yeah. Well, same for when you take Forte, right? It's like Forte.
Yeah.
But okay, so
I also brought Forte.
you get
which
there.
Is
there's seemingly no one there, and
okay.
then Margaret's like, "Where's the audience?" and comes forward again, and like Dolce shows up, and she's like, oh, I mean, there's an audience member right there, and there's someone suddenly on the stage. And Margaret's just like, where did they come from? But Dulce's like, sorry, actually, we're missing the score. Can you go find it? It should be in one of the drawers in the house somewhere. So you have to like go through the mansion looking for the score, and then you come back to the stage with the score. And Margaret's like, wait, this is a song I play all the time. It's the one she frequently plays, like outside of the restaurant or in the restaurant or whatever. It's that same song, and so these ghosts, or as you're going through the house looking for the score, you see like little snippets of this particular pair of ghosts. And then as she's playing, the ghosts reappear, and she's like freaking out a little bit. And Dulce's like, no matter what you see or hear, just keep playing. And then I guess it was like this couple that was like, oh, you know, for my birthday, blah, blah, blah. And the guy is like, no, I have to finish this piece, whatever. And then gives her like a letter that's like, I'm so sorry that I haven't been like there enough for you, but I wrote this piece for you for your birthday. Come to Obsidian Mansion so I can play it for you. But then on the day, there was this big storm. His carriage like slipped and fell. He never made it. And so, yeah. So she's been sort of waiting at Obsidian Mansion, and he hasn't been able to play it. And so this is the original score from that composer, is these sheets. And Margaret's like, yeah, actually, this is the first song I learned to play when I left the Elvish Kingdom. And like the ghosts finally have their reunion performance thing and like talk it out as she's playing. And then Margaret's like, yeah, I too want to like someday write music with this kind of emotion. And she's like, all right, well, thanks for coming along with me and like giving me this audience. I'm gonna go cry now.
Just like we're doing right now.
Yeah, me too.
You made the song very sentimental. Oh.
Yeah, it was so sweet. I really loved that one.
It's no.
I feel like Rune Factory 4 has a lot of those scenes that are like relatively minor, and it's just like, this is such a small scene. It's like easy to miss. I think that's the first time I came across that one.
Oh wow!
Especially because it's one of those randomly triggered town events. I believe it's one of Margaret's required events for her marriage. Apparently, Margaret has 4, whereas Forte has like 1 or something.
Wow. And I felt the same way. I want to make people feel emotions from my music. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, one of the friends for that marriage commission I got was like saying how she was like, you almost made me cry already. First thing in the morning when I played it for them.
Oh.
And it's the one, you know, Sharky, you know both of them, right?
Yeah.
It's the one that you knew a bit better.
Yes.
And she's like, I don't usually cry for stuff. We'll see if I cry for like the wedding or whatever. And then I played, and she's like, wait, you almost got me already. Am I almost crying already?
It hasn't even started yet. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, we were literally in the car on the way to get coffee down on our way to get the courthouse. I was like, hey, mission successful.
Yeah, that's
mission successful.
That means that. Oh man. Oh. I'm trying to read this line. Why'd you do this to me? You're hurting me. It's no problem. Twilight is part of the British Armed Forces. It is an independent organization under the direct command of military technology advisor Finnis, but we have the same goals. Military technology advisor. Finnis's former position, his main task was to oversee weapon development and improve military power as a whole. We are a sword for the creation of peace and tranquility throughout Britain. In that sense, we're no different from them. A sword for peace and tranquility? I think that's a great cause. By the way, Mr. Van Helsing, what is it that motivated you to enlist in the armed forces? Well, I'm embarrassed to admit it, but it's to make money to support my family. I see. I appreciate your honesty. As of today, you're a member of Twilight. I'll see you're taken care of. What? What does that... You're already an official civilian employee. You needn't to worry about your family. A Twilight agent receives a salary far greater than the average soldier. Thank you. Well, that makes me happy. Oh.
So the only problem now is that both Discord and email alike are like, this file is too big for you to send.
Yeah, you have to
I'll
like...
have to re-download it from my computer because I can't attach it from my phone. I think from my computer, maybe?
Or you'll have to like Google Drive it or something.
I mean, I think worst case, maybe. I don't know if they can download it this way, but I could probably put it up as a private post on Tumblr where it's only accessible by link and then send them the link.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff.
Something like that, I don't know. But they were quite happy. I mean, they liked it enough to be like, can we have the file? So, you know.
Happy and you know it, clap your hand.
No one is happy here, actually.
Well, my hand is full of controller. I can't clap.
Could put down the controller.
Nope, there's no ability. I lost that ability to put down a controller.
This is where Alistair and Van Helsing's relationship began, with no happiness and no clapping. Alistair is indeed an excellent soldier and a skilled agent in his own right. But more than anything, he's an educator.
Professor Alistair! Professor Alistair!
Professor Jimmy.
Professor Jim! Professor Jimmy! Hello, Professor Jimmy! What is on the docket today?
While holding a high rank in the army, he is also well known as a popular university professor. For his first 6 months in the unit, Van Helsing was thoroughly trained by Alistair. Thanks to this, he quickly rises and becomes one of the top performers within Twilight's ranks. However...
Checkmate, Abraham. Sharky, have you paid off your house yet?
Very sudden call. Well, Sharky, have you?
I plead the fifth.
You know, when are you going to be able to play Sora?
When Kingdom Hearts 5 comes out.
Not even 4, 5.
Look, I know how I am.
They're gonna come out with a new Smash Bros. And you're not gonna be allowed to play Sora in that one either because...
Oh, of course not.
Still would not have paid off the house.
No, it's so hard because there's so many games.
Yeah.
There's so many games.
I'm trying to remember how I made a bunch of money in Animal Crossing.
You played every day.
I did, but so did my roommate. And I was well ahead of her, too. I mean, once I finished paying off my house, I was, like, giving money wildly to you, to her. To, like...
How to make 2 million bells.
Oh, you know what? It might have been partially the money trees, because we would plant the money tree every day. Although, we didn't always collect it right away.
Yeah. That's like...
that, and that I filled my island all over with foreign fruits.
Oh, yeah, well. I mean, I have that.
Not like a full orchard, but yeah. And so, like... And I mean, you have the whole island to yourself.
Yeah.
I was sharing with her, so I would leave fruits on for her. But if you have the various foreign fruit trees planted all over the island, it's not that hard.
Yeah, I just have to, like, you know, play every day.
No, at that point, you only play every 3 days.
That requires me to remember to play every 3 days.
Once a week.
That requires me to remember to play once a week.
Well, you set a set day every day, or every week on that day. Let's say Sundays. Sundays after streams, you have to go play Animal Crossing just to collect your fruits and sell them, and then you go have dinner or whatever. What am I doing for dinner today?
You're reading this line for dinner.
Alistair holds a wooden knife to Van Helsing's neck as part of a mock battle they're having.
Ah, wasn't that a tasty dinner?
I love the taste of splinters on my tongue. Delicious.
Okay. Okay.
That wasn't that funny.
Again? When can I defeat you? There's no simple answer. Your battle sensibilities are so exceptional. You rely on instinct and not on your head. As a battle's scope widens, intellect becomes the key to victory. You probably won't be of any use yet in actual battle. That's not true. I swear I can be effective.
Oh, baby Helsing.
I like that you're spirited. However, you really should stop speaking so stiffly. Let's be a bit more frank with each other. No, sir. We don't want to speak to you with any disrespect. You're a stubborn one.
Exchanges like this continue between them.
Baby Helsing.
Baby Helsing. Van Helsing has written about these times in a letter he sent to his mother and brother in the country.
How are you both? Don't worry about me. Training is difficult, but I'm doing fine. I can't tell you where I am for certain reasons, but I trust that the money has begun to arrive. Mother, you need to make sure to eat healthy foods. I believe your body will naturally start to get better then. By the way, the commander at the post I've been stationed to has a very interesting background. Aside from his military duties, it seems he also works as a university professor. Lately, he found out about my limited schooling and started looking over my studies, saying that I can do better. Oh!
Baby Helsing.
Oh my gosh! That's...
Baby Helsing.
Game, you need to stop hitting me with the feels.
Oh, just wait.
I've decided to call him Professor. He says it sounds too stiff and doesn't like it. Yeah, it's like calling me Professor Sharky. It's too stiff and I don't like it.
Yo, Prof. Sharky.
No! Shut up, you!
Oh, you want me to shut up? I guess you can have narrator back.
No! Oh, I should probably turn my light on. I'm glad I made up my mind to come out to London. I'll come home the next time I can get a long leave. I'm already looking forward to seeing you two. Oh no, the music stopped.
Then.
Oh no, it says then after the music stopped. Ah, crap, oh crap, oh crap.
I said just you wait.
No.
You wanted feels. A little while after he enters Twilight, Van Helsing experiences his first real battle. It's probably one of the worst battles that a new soldier could experience. It's also so pixelated right now. I feel like I'm looking at a mosaic.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not your fault.
Yes. Van Helsing, stay alert or you'll die.
Twilight is in the midst of a pitched fight in a corner of the poorer district. The first time, Van Helsing is against an opponent who does not succumb to a superior fighting prowess. The enemies are soldiers who have been part of an experiment called Hidden Strength. These men have lost their sanity and hunger to kill. If they get into the city, the death toll will be tremendous. The mission to hunt them down and kill them before they get out has been assigned to Alistair's platoon.
At least it's not just me who's just like, okay, yeah, okay.
No, I said it correctly. Paused when... Wait, I got that wrong. Wait, no, I got it right. Okay, let me continue. I have a similar problem sometimes of reading too fast. I read faster than I, like, speak it out loud.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then I trip over my own tongue. No, you're not the only one. I just don't scat when I fuck up.
See, my brain just decides, when it realizes it messed up, my brain just goes into error mode and then just stops processing for a little bit.
And scats.
And then it just says random syllables.
Yeah, it does the thing where, like, if you blue screen and there's audio playing.
Oh, because... Yeah.
Yeah.
So, somebody...
No, for me, I go vampire mode. I start tripping over my own tongue and go, blah!
So one person I watch online, and I've watched for a long time, they have a joke with the, voice, like a voice mod thing that they have, where they have a specific setting where they're like, oh, my computer's about to crash, and then they'll press, like, one of the buttons, and it just prolongs the crash as if the computer blue screened. Just to, like, be like, oh, crap!
Yeah, I really just go into bleh. I become vampire. The tables have turned. After chasing the Hidden Strength soldiers into a complicated back alley, the altered men turned and began attacking ferociously. Everyone had underestimated the power of Hidden Strength, the immense potential of a human's latent powers.
They underestimate the strength of Hidden Strength?
Yep. Professional Professor Sharky.
No, I'm not professional. No, stop it. No.
Unprofessional Professor Sharky?
I'm not a professor.
Professor Sharky professes that he does not act as professional.
Monitor?
What about your monitor?
Okay, there we go. It just decided it wanted to, turn off.
Ah.
I just unplugged the HDMI and plugged it back in. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professor. I'm only somewhat of a Sharky.
You're 120% Sharky, actually.
120% Sharky? How did one become 120% Sharky?
You're so Sharky that you defined Sharky. I feel like it really says a lot that my friend suggested Sharky as the nickname.
And then everyone,
or at least said that you reminded her of that song. And
yeah.
I watched it and went, yeah, that's you.
And then you showed it to me.
You Sharky.
And then you showed it to me, and I'm like, yeah, that's right.
You're just like, Sharky life forever. And I'm like, yeah, see, you're Sharky. And then other people that I said it around, without the context of that, we're like, yeah, you're Sharky.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, call him Sharky now. Like, just Sharky. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Who are like, I'm not calling a grown man Sharky. And then they met you and they're like, all right, Sharky.
Wait, who said that?
I played the 18.
Who said, wait, whoa, who said that they wouldn't call a grown man Sharky and then met me and like was like, no, Sharky?
I'm not saying. They feel no pain when shot and tear things to pieces with overwhelming violence.
I
Their
feel like
powers have made them inhuman.
I mean, yeah, don't say it on the stream. You can message it to me.
Nah.
But, like, I feel like I should know this. Because I don't meet many people. I mean, if I knew your real name, I would still call you Sharky. No, so at my last job, I was always introduced as Sharky to the other coworkers because that's what happened. To the point where if somebody came up with me like, I need to speak with my real name, people are always like, who? We don't have a person by that name who works here. And then after a little bit, it'll be like, you need to speak with Sharky. Okay, hold on. I'll get Sharky for you.
A friend named Christine, but she is always rock bottom to me.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I have another friend that I mean, Sharky, you know this story, that I know his real name.
Yeah.
But like, the first like game dev club meeting he came to was a board game night, and he got the role of Frenchie.
Yes,
so I just kept calling him Frenchie.
I barely remember his. The only time I remember his full name, or his first name, is because I was talking to my roommate, and they're like, "Who's this person on your friends list?" And I'm like, I had to look at the picture and be like, "Oh yeah, that's Frenchie." And my roommate's like, "Why are you is he French? I don't know. Then why are you calling him Frenchie?"
Inside joke.
Yeah.
I mean, because like,
even my parents don't call me by my name, so it's weird when people call me by my actual. Yeah.
I'm like, it's strange in the way of like, because he was hanging out with me last weekend. I invited him along to this pirate bar thing that I was checking out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like a pirate themed tiki bar. It's really cool. They have good drinks. But I was introducing him and I paused and I go like, well, this isn't your real name. But I know him by Frenchie.
He's Frenchie.
And he's like, you just don't know my real name. And I'm like, no, I know what it is. It's name.
Yeah.
But it's really weird to call him by that. To me, I'm like, sorry, Frenchie just is a better name. I don't know.
I mean, yes.
It's like a bland white guy name, and it makes me think of like a middle-aged office worker who's balding.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
so
you're Frenchie.
That happened to me when I was living at the last place I was with the prior roommates, and I was working at my last job. Everyone except for my now roommate called me Sharky. So it was like the minute I heard my actual name, I'm always like, wait, who you talking to? I'm Sharky. Like that, what? And then I had to be like, oh right, yeah,
like Jeff or Kyle. See, neither of those names make me think of like specifically a middle-aged
white dude,
balding white guy in an office situation. But this name is like, yeah. Aura's Pie says everyone is Steve until proven otherwise. Nick, you're also a Steve.
Until proven otherwise.
Well, no, we're just gonna go with your Steve. Unless you like Mick better. But you know, if you don't like Mick better, we'll just say that your real name is Steve. Because everyone's real name is Steve. I'm also Steve. Sharky is Steve. Everyone is Steve. Melik secretly is Steve. Minecraft Steve.
Minecraft Steve?
Actually, it's Craftmine Steve.
Craftmine?
Steve Craftmine.
Yes. Just like Sans Undertale and Sora Kingdom Hearts.
Mm-hmm. I think it's interesting when I talk about.
Oh, see, no, and that's know how on Friday, I was saying,
sounds so weird out of context.
My friend saying, yeah. So I was talking to one of my roommate's friends, because drag me into talk D&D because my roommate knows nothing about D&D, and she's like, Sharky, like, come talk about D&D for a little bit because, like, my friend's starting to play D&D and, like, wants to, like, I don't get it. So, and then I mentioned you, Satan, and my roommate's like, it's so, like, it's still processing that because coming up for a very Christian, like, an extremely Christian household and environment, calling
having gone to Christian school together.
Like,
I'm actually amused that you called me Satan around her. Because for a while I was bad influence friend, I think.
Because, honestly, now your name is just Satan to me, and, like, sometimes your real name will come out, but I'm always like, no, but you're Satan, though.
Well, I don't like my real name in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
I've been trying to switch to just the first initial.
Yeah.
When I introduce myself to people, to mixed results, especially because, I mean, I talk to a lot of people for, like...
Bad influence on? Yeah, Satan's the one who got me into drinking a lot and doing a lot of things that I'm like, this is a bad influence.
Look, we were in a class together that was literally, like, down to...
Oh my god.
Writing in straight up, like,
Mix.
computer...
Yeah.
Like, assembly language.
Yeah.
And then translating that to straight up binary.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the kind of class where you want to drink afterwards. Especially because it was, like, a 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. class.
That was the funniest first day, though, when you're like, do you guys want to go to drinks? And we're both like, we'll see after the class halfway through. Yes, drinks, please.
Yeah, our other friend, too.
Drinks, please.
That was also the class where the professor at one point was like, all right, what would you guys like to see in the industry? Like, what kind of change would you like to see? And someone made this really creepy sounding comment about, like, I wish there were more girls in computer science. And I'm like, I am not here for you to ogle or, like, creep on.
Yeah.
I would like to push you down a flight of stairs. Thanks.
Yeah. Was that the
stand
day...
in front of this flight of stairs.
Was that the day you got the fishbowl?
That was the day I got the bucket.
Oh, the bucket.
I mean, it was like a 1 to 2 person bucket, but yeah, it was a little cute little bucket, and I drank the whole thing for just me because you guys were trying to talk me out of pushing this guy down the stairs.
Yeah, because I don't want to see you go to jail.
There was the other class, computer ethics, with the friend from yesterday, where there was someone else in the class who was legitimately arguing for the invention of robots who would... Sex robots designed to say no to simulate rape. Not sex robots in general, but specifically robots to rape. Arguing in favor of this. And me sitting there as one of like 2 or 3 girls in the class. And after that class, I was telling that friend from yesterday, I would like to push him down a flight of stairs. I would like to push him down a flight of stairs. Can I push him down a flight of stairs? I'm gonna push him down a flight of stairs. Actually, I don't want your permission. I just want to fucking do it.
That's so gross. Yeah.
So I'm just, you know, for unnamed TERF author who we do not support, but I think this is just a very handy explanation. Pre-college, for the said TERF author's world, when I used to do those like quizzes, what house would you be sorted into? It was always like Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, one or the other. I finished college, Slytherin every fucking time.
Yep.
Even midway through college.
Yep.
Because at some point it's just like, I do not give a shit anymore. I had to go through school in my major as one of a small handful of, I mean, I don't know if I'm a woman anymore, but like, female presenting, at least.
I'm always saying
members of the class.
I think the last time I took, I was Hufflepuff too.
Hufflepuff. Yeah,
and some people are like.
Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say, and some people are like, yeah, you're Hufflepuff, and I'm like, okay.
What I now get is that, both on the official Pottermore thing, and when I took it several years back now.
Yeah.
But also like, there was a like what percentage match are you with each house?
Yeah.
Both times, Slytherin's my top.
Yep.
And even any other random quiz is generally Slytherin now. Gryffindor is my, on the percentage one specifically, it was like 82% Slytherin.
Yep.
And then it was like 70-something Gryffindor. And then I think it was like just about 60 Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I'm usually...
And then Hufflepuff was like 20.
Yeah, I'm usually like...
I'm not a Hufflepuff.
I'm apparently usually a Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw. I'm like not Slytherin. I was like, I think like you sent me like one of those, and I was like almost 0% Slytherin and like barely a Gryffindor.
I think essentially what it comes down to is going through school as a minority in that environment of like those types of people in my classes. Yep. There was also the time in my freshman year, our like third quarter project was like a group project to make a game, just any game. And I was on this team with another girl, but we also had two guys, and we were talking about what to do. And we're like, oh yeah, and the main character could be a girl, and this guy is like, no, the main character cannot be a girl. Why not? Just you can't. You just can't have a girl as the main character. It's all shit like that.
Yeah.
It's the fact that, like, say that same class we were in, we were talking about the game dev club, and we introduced ourselves as co-presidents. And I'd been president for like 2 years at that point, and was just handing it off because I was graduating. And they proceeded to completely ignore me and only talk to you.
And I'm always like, no, talk to her. Talk to her. Talk to her.
And they still just talk to you.
Yeah.
They did not acknowledge me. They literally turned away from me to only look at you.
Yeah.
And I was just like...
So glad I graduated before Facebook.
Yeah. So it's like all the shit like that that I'm like... You know, I might have been, once upon a time, a Gryffindor or a Ravenclaw or something. But no, if this is the type of person I have to deal with, I don't care if I fuck them over for my own ends. Good. Welcome to your daily dose of Satan Rage.
But yeah.
Well, daily per stream, I guess.
Well, I whenever I talk to like talk about you to like my tabletop group, like I usually I'll usually say, oh, the person I stream with, because I'm like, I don't know if I want to say like, oh yeah, my streaming buddy Satan.
I mean, even on here generally, I'll introduce myself as Satan, but with the caveat of explaining where the name came from, because I feel like if I just introduce myself as Satan, sometimes I probably sound like a total edgelord. And it's like, no, this name doesn't come from me being an edgelord. It just comes from
bad influence.
You called me Satan once.
It's because of like the bad influence, like the the little Satan on the shoulder type joke. That's literally where it came from. And me being like, okay, stop it, Satan.
Well, no, there was something that I was complaining about, and I was like talking really viciously, and you were like, okay, there's Satan. That was the particular instance. I picked it up, and I was just like, yeah, I am. What's to you?
No, I was just thinking when Mick said that, I was like, oh yeah, what Flowers said to us.
Oh yeah, what Flowers said. And I'm still just like, oh my god, wait, what?
Satan, not that one.
Yeah, putting Sharky and Satan in like the special thanks on the new Arcade Spirits coming out.
It should.
And I was like, I hope you put us as Sharky and Satan so that people can accuse you of being a Satanist.
But shouldn't it be like, Satan and Sharky?
Professor Sharky. Professor Sharky and Satan, parentheses, not that one.
But shouldn't it be Satan and then Sharky?
I guess for the flow of how he wrote it, no.
Yeah. Read your line, please.
The Twilight Forces are defeated one after another, and before they know it, the only survivors left are Alistair and Van Helsing.
We've been 2 hours. This is what you get when you join this stream, but oh my gosh, it's been 2 hours.
The two watch over one another as they run deeper and deeper into the Warren Valleys. They're eventually cornered and surrounded, trapped in a narrow alleyway. As if instinctively aware that victory is certain, the experimental soldiers advance slowly.
Oh my gosh! No! Hold up!
Baby Helsing!
Oh my gosh! This is amazing!
Baby version.
No!
He looks so much younger. And
Hold
cute.
up! Those glasses though!
Baby face.
Like the goggles. Oh my
Helsing.
gosh! This is so good!
Baby Helsing.
So this is it.
Doesn't have like relatively calm, chill destruction look on his face.
No.
He's like, fuck. Intense battle expression instead.
Yeah.
Van Helsing says this under his breath as he looks around. There's nowhere to run and they don't have much strength left. I guess once we finish the flashback, we'll end for the day.
Yeah,
In which case it's good that I took narrator, or else it would literally have just been you.
Yeah. Because we've been, tangenting.
A lot. As we do.
I said that, when you walked around, I'm like, man, this has been a chatty stream.
Yeah. Look, I had 3 Bellinis before I got to this stream. That's my excuse.
We've
3
been
Bellinis and 2
We've been
coffees.
chatting a lot this weekend.
Yeah, this is an early stream for y'all, right?
It's the normal.
Well, we were actually technically a little bit
Late.
late for a Sunday, but relative to the rest of the week, yes, it's an earlier one.
Yeah, it's earlier for the rest of the week, but this is
Yeah.
our normal.
Well, because the
normal
rest of the week we originally set that schedule because I would go into the office for work,
Yeah.
and then just time to get home from the office, like 6:30 is when I could sort of consistently make it home. And then, yeah, we just kind of kept that through the pandemic.
Yep.
Which sometimes I am still working up until like 10 or 20 minutes beforehand.
Yeah.
But yeah. So most of the week, we don't have much choice but to start then, because the absolute earliest I could start, and this is sort of leaving early from work relatively, is already 8 Eastern.
Yeah.
I literally cannot any earlier because I have work.
Yeah, and then Sundays,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, well, 5:30 to 6 start time is...
Sunday is a solid, I slept in, I had some lunch, or
Yeah.
at least made lunch, and I can get on.
Yeah. And then we can end, and then there's still, like, time afterwards to, like...
Yeah. Like, this is a better time in general,
Yeah.
but it just can't happen for the rest of the week because I have work.
Yep.
Had they been fighting normal humans, it may have been possible to fight and break through them to escape. However, they are up against monsters who far surpass human abilities.
I'm probably going to drink tonight, but I want to cook first.
What are you cooking? What are you drinking?
Yeah.
If they are surrounded, there's no chance they can win, no matter how they fight.
Professor, run. I'll act as a decoy. You're going to give up and let them shred you to pieces, eh? Where did your usual air of confidence go? But there's nothing more we can do. The death of a soldier is not a tragedy. Any who go into battle should be prepared for death.
Apple ale and Mike's Hard Lemonade. Yum.
But
Wait, but what are you cooking? I assume not
apple
just
ale
that.
and Mike's Hard Lemonade.
You're cooking apple ale. Okay.
But it is a tragedy for a civilian to die as a result of battle. We soldiers must put our lives on the line to stop these beasts. You still think they can be defeated? Even when things are this bad? I promise you one thing, Abraham. If we both make it out of here alive, no
Purple
more...
Gogi.
Ooh!
Yeah, that sounds really good. Got some stuff from HelloFresh.
Nice! No more calling me Professor. No more being stiff and polite. We'll address each other as equals. Yeah, no more calling me Professor.
And friends. You skipped the friends part.
Shush.
I keep getting like ads from HelloFresh, and I'm like, thank you, but I like determining what I'm gonna make myself. I already kind of know how to cook. I don't want the...
Now is hardly the time for this. Haha, I told you before, didn't I?
Alistair takes a device of some kind from pocket and smiles. He presses a button, and the next moment...
Boom! I want to be on familiar terms with you, especially a capable youth like yourself, with a bright future ahead of you.
Powerful explosion blows the experimental hidden strength soldiers to pieces. Aside from Jack Blackman, the one who got away, Alistair had already placed bombs in many abandoned areas within the district and given detonators to everyone but Abraham. There is only one reason why he didn't tell Van Helsing about the plan beforehand. Alistair later tells Van Helsing that his goal for his mission was to survive. He also said that giving extra tasks to those entering battle for the first time often increases their chances of death. In any case, from this day forward, Van Helsing stopped being overly polite to Alistair. In this way, Alistair became a true comrade to Van Helsing. Following this battle, Van Helsing's abilities continue to grow under Alistair's guidance. In only a year, he has far surpassed any other member of Twilight. And in terms of power, his capabilities have exceeded even Alistair's. It's uncertain when this happened, but they have established a style in which Alistair devises strategy, and Abraham executes it. The two of them come to be known as the best team within Twilight, and they find themselves on the most difficult missions. Then, fate begins to take its course. 2 years ago, the sub-race genocide in Ireland, also known as the Vampire War, takes place. Van Helsing is given the most important duty in this campaign. You're amazing! You're so strong for a human!
That's not true. I'm no match for your father. He wasn't using his full strength.
Of course not. He's the strongest warrior of all the vampires. You ready to cry part 2?
I'm already crying, actually.
Van Helsing has ingratiated himself with the vampires and come into contact with those considered royalty among them.
After that explosion, I started crying.
His mission is to spy on them and report on the fortress, then open the entrance for the approaching military assault. Completely unaware of his objective, the vampires have accepted him. The vampires place great importance on fighting ability and welcome Van Helsing as a guest upon learning of his strength. This day, Van Helsing and the vampire King Delacroix are engaging in a mock battle at the king's request. Van Helsing is at a great disadvantage, as he is more comfortable handling a gun than a sword. But even if he did have a gun, he feels that Delacroix would still make for a difficult opponent. But honestly, I think you're just about as strong as Master Nointote. Oh, Master Nointote is my teacher. He's super strong.
I see. If he is considered strong among vampires, there's no way a human like myself could defeat him in battle.
Even baby Patan. Even more baby Patan. I think you're about the same. I know! Teach me how to fight! I'm gonna maybe become stronger and surprise everyone.
I'll think about it.
Promise! It's a promise, alright?
Fine, I promise.
However, this promise would never be held.
Voicing no emotion Van Helsing while actively crying
Well, he
is...
can be a little bit more expressive at this point.
But still, while actively crying?
Oh, just wait. That night, once he has enough information to complete his assigned duties, Van Helsing returns to London. It's the crying time music!
I see. I never knew. The vampires were never the threat that has been suggested.
I think this is all Van Helsing speaking.
The government's going around saying that vampires have attacked human villages, but there's no trace of any such attacks. This must be a mistake. War is about to begin, based on significant misunderstanding. It has to be stopped before it grows to destroy either of our races. And I can't see them as people who deserve destruction. I see, and I understand. I shall try to talk to Finnis about it. If all goes well, he may be able to advise Queen Victoria about this. Can you include your reasoning in your written report? Would you really do that? Thank you so much, Jimmy. No need to thank me. I sent something off about this war as well. Your suggestion will be a good chance to argue against it. I won't waste any more time then. I'll put my report together.
I was relieved. The vampires were truly a peaceful race. Their abilities were terrifying, but it didn't look at all as if they planned to use them against humanity. Van Helsing did not wish to betray the trust of those who had so warmly accepted him into their home. I don't remember if this is Finnis. Maybe. There's no need to put that report together. Van Helsing turns around at the sudden voice. To discover a young boy. Okay, yes. He had seen him once before, during Twilight's entrance ceremony. The only individual with command over all of Twilight, the second most powerful voice in Britain after the Queen herself. Finnis. I heard what you had to say. Alistair goes down on one knee and bows his head. Van Helsing does the same. But you see, we need this war to keep moving. What did you say your name was?
Sir. Abraham Van Helsing, sir.
Well then, Van Helsing, I'll have you tell us everything you know during the strategy meeting later. Orders within Twilight are absolute. If they command him to die, he must die. But
I can't.
Van Helsing speaks his mind this once. Oh? And why is that?
These people have done nothing wrong. I don't believe there's anything that justifies this war.
You're quite funny, Van Helsing. No war on this earth has ever had a justifiable reason. Same goes for now. Britain merely wants an opponent to demonstrate our power to the other nations of Europe. We merely needed someone that wouldn't cause the other countries to get fired up about being attacked. That's all.
What? Then about the incident that supposedly sparked all the anti-vampire sentiment. The attack on the human village.
Of course the village was attacked, but who carried it out? That's something you don't need to know.
No. Is the government behind this?
I forget. However, to save the country, some sacrifices are necessary. Queen Victoria has consented to it all. Now, I'd like you to share with us the secrets of the vampire's fortress.
I can't.
That's too bad. Alistair, perhaps he'll listen to you, as his direct superior.
I'm sorry, sir, but I can't abide by your words either. It's true that Twilight takes any measures necessary to fulfill our objectives, but we aren't savages who kill innocents. I object to this war as well.
Alistair, considering your achievements up to this point, I'm going to do you a favor and pretend I didn't hear that. Use some common sense. The words of a single soldier will never affect the big picture.
I don't want any part of it in whatever this is.
You see, well, you can reject it if you want and see for yourself what happens as a result.
What do you mean?
Finis smiles a thin smile, but doesn't otherwise respond. Van Helsing realizes that the answer, then, must be a tragedy that has already taken place. The British forces release poisonous gas, a new invention of war, from the air. One vampire stronghold after another is left in a state of destruction. The vampire's leader, Delacroix, has gathered survivors and refugees of all the different regions to his own fortress. He protects them and decides to spearhead a battle from there against humanity. Humans against vampires. The plans of widespread murder have become a reality. Van Helsing discovers this and tries to protest against Finis, but he is arrested and placed in confinement. Once he is released from prison, a mission is waiting for him. Change of scenery. This is Delacroix's fortress. Its defenses were unmatched in the past, but it is under siege from the military. Any vampires who had not fled to the castle already fell into anarchy and were killed one by government forces. The vampires still resist violently, and so far the military is unable to enter the stronghold at all. Amidst all of this, 2 soldiers arrive at the castle's gates. Abraham Van Helsing, Jimmy A. Alistair. They have been accused of treason, and with their families taken hostage, have been forced into assassinating King Delacroix. Alistair surmises that this is Finis's plan to have them killed after they'd learned the real truth behind how this war began. Neither Van Helsing nor Alistair could object, not with their families being held hostage. How dare you show your face here, Van Helsing!
Stop.
Curse you! Curse you!
Run. Please just run.
We won't let you hurt our family! Not our family!
Don't try to stop me.
Shout echoes through the crumbling stone stronghold. He has already completed his transformation into a human weapon. His battle skills are at a level above any other, but each vampire has the strength of 10 men. He kills them one after another. Then Van Helsing emerged victorious from the one-on-one battle against the Vampire King, Delacroix. Van Helsing himself has some serious injury, but he pays no mind to his wounds and prays for Delacroix's soul.
Is it over? Yes. Delacroix was a great man. His loss will cause the vampires to fall apart. Looks like Britain has won this joke of a war. No, that was supposed to be Alistair. Whatever. What of Delacroix's wife and child?
This isn't necessarily line by line alternating either.
Yeah. I handled his wife, but I couldn't find his son Dracula anywhere. ... Abraham, I'm sorry that you've been put into a painful position. Right. This is horrible. Who could have predicted that my life would turn out to be so revolting? I killed the man who saved my life. A kind, innocent man. A king. With my own hands.
Unbearable is the only way to describe his pain. It echoes through the crumbling walls of the vampire fortress without answer.
We may need to search deeper inside the fortress for the survivor, the boy.
Dracula. That boy had warmed up to me. I taught him a little of how to fight. He looked to me with eyes filled with respect and awe, and I'm going to kill him? Right here and now, like his father. ...
Van Helsing, what's the matter? Can you move? That's enough. I know how you feel, but if Finis finds out that we left Delacroix's son alive... Enough! What is this? What are we? This is not a war, it's a massacre! We killed and killed and killed innocent people! What point is there to a country keeping something this terrible a secret? You... Please, tell me, Jimmy. Why? Why are we doing this? Abraham, all battles are the outcomes of mistakes. No battle on Earth has ever been justified. Our job is to bring these incidents to an end as quickly as possible, with the fewest casualties we can manage. And this country, no, this whole world has been making mistakes for a long, long time.
Alistair places a hand on Van Helsing's shoulder.
Let's go. Our job here is done.
After that, Van Helsing and Alistair become the focus of the public's attention, as heroes who brought the vampire war to an early end. Van Helsing's achievement is recognized and he is awarded with the Knight's title and inducted into the Most Excellent Order. However, the very day Van Helsing receives his titles, he resigns from Twilight. When asked by Alistair why he's leaving, Van Helsing's response is brief.
I can't find a reason to kill. I can't fight anymore.
With this, he departs.
I'm going to go back to my family. I've sent plenty of money. We should have enough saved to be able to live comfortably. Now, I'm going to lead a peaceful life with my family. At least so I thought.
Like, maybe I should have reading that.
Nah.
But that's truly what I thought.
What is this?
When he returned home that day, what he saw was the aftermath of an appalling tragedy. Crimson stain of blood had sprayed all the way to the ceiling, over one large body and one small one on the floor.
No, 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 no.
Their wounds are hideous. They must have gone through unimaginable pain.
How could this?
I am in a daze. Faced with this reality, I am unable to think straight.
No.
For an instant, I think this was a punishment for what I have done.
How could they? Such cruelty.
No. I did the same thing. To the vampires, to so many more. An emotion that is not quite anger or sadness burns in his heart, and he turns a suffering face up to the red ceiling. after that, he contacts Alistair, who discovered his own family had been murdered, and they search for whoever ordered the killings. They use the skills cultivated through their careers in Twilight and are able to find the individual in no time at all.
Poor Van Helsing. Poor. Oh my gosh.
And I said earlier, just you wait. The assassin is a Twilight soldier, and they find a document in his room bearing Finis's seal.
I just feel bad I don't feel like I'm putting enough emotion behind some of those words.
It's Van Helsing. This is sort of the moment where he hardens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Like, he did that, he came home, he's like, I'm going home to my family, and then that yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah, so, like, but, like, at some of those times, I'm like, no, there needs to be more anger, frustration, and, like...
The document reads, Abraham Van Helsing, Jimmy A. Alistair. Exterminate both their families.
Finis, I swear I will have my revenge.
Having obtained hard evidence, Van Helsing dedicates himself to vengeance. He will kill the boy, no matter what. That was the beginning of it all. Van Helsing was able to kill Finis once, as his heart led him to. But strangely, Finis returned to life. There were whisperings of immortality. In order to unravel the secret, Van Helsing continued his investigations. One day, he received a key piece of information from his collaborator, Alistair. Twilight and Finis are after something. If he can get to it before the military, he may be able to drag Finis, who so far cannot be found, out into the open. That is what leads to his encounter with the ill-fated girl that has been called a monster.
Should we go a little bit farther?
Yeah, because it should return to AC's perspective.
Okay.
So, no.
What is it, Abraham? Something on your mind? Yes, I was thinking about the past.
The automobile finally approaches their destination.
Looking back fondly on your memories is great, but right now I need you to focus on the present. Don't you think this is the same as that time before? Don't be so mysterious with me. Which that time are you talking about? The final battle that brought an end to the Vampire War. The two of us went marching into enemy territory, just like this.
Alistair nods gravely, but his response is not one of agreement.
I see. The situation is certainly similar, but the essence of the situation is different this time, Abraham.
Yes, looking back fondly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So fondly on the trauma.
Back then, we fought as a result of having been swept up by fate. Now we fight by our own wills in order to part with our pasts. Isn't that right?
Van Helsing smiles faintly.
Yes, that's right.
By the way, if you thought this was all the angst in the Van Helsing route,
No,
it's not.
No, I can realize there's going to be so much more.
We're still only in the second last chapter.
Yeah,
We've got some angst to go.
Abraham Van Angsting.
Until now, it had seemed that he not even allowed death. But once everything's finished, he can finally sleep. He can bid farewell to the unending nightmare that had been his life. Van Helsing looks up at the moon and gaze. The moon looks down on him indifferently, as if it knows everything that is about to happen, but keeps its knowledge to itself. Now we can stop.
Why is the car still going?
It's fading.
Felt like that should have faded a little bit faster, but okay.
You know, you just went through it a little too fast for them, okay?
Oh yeah, we went through so fast.
Yeah, don't worry. There's like a chapter and a half left to go, I think. And you know, the funny thing is, you know how I said last time that the wiki is wrong?
Yeah.
The wiki still says this is chapter 11.
Wow.
But like I said, I think they probably mixed up part of 11
Yeah.
or part of 12 as 11, and then what they've labeled as 12 might actually be 13. Because if they've labeled as 13 seems fully just to be like
Epilogue-y.
yeah. So I don't think that's actually correct.
Well, thank you for joining for angst and sadness and crying and crying and crying and crying.
Join us next time for more angst and crying and crying and crying and crying.
You just went through 30 minutes of gameplay in 180. Not complaining. Yeah.
It might have been like 40 to 50. That was a whole flashback.
That was a lot.
That is like they do very long flashback things in this game.
But also
they have to put all the backstory.
But also, yeah, we probably just tangented for an hour and a half. We understand.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
what we do. Welcome in. Welcome to the Aces stream in which we just go on tangents about all
That's why we played a single game for over a year, and people were like, "How are you still playing this?" And we're like, "You know how."
Look.
Again, not complaining. Oh, we understand.
For 10,000 channel points, once a stream, someone can redeem End Tangent. However, you could also save up to 1 million like Magic's trying to do for the Sharky Christmas album.
We understand you're not complaining. It's just it's how it is.
We're just explaining.
Yeah. But yes, actually,
for you and anyone else who's relatively new to this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what we do. We straight up have an End Tangent button. We know.
But yeah, we'll be back Wednesday for
a new Lovingly Evil route.
Yeah.
Nick, if you can make it, maybe joining. If not, also cool. No worries.
Mick can always feel free to join whenever. But yeah. Have a good rest of the day/night. Bye.
Thanks, bye.